take one of DP's company story. It is July 14th.
Ready? Todd, what I'd like to do for you today is really three things. First of all, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about Sears, how we go about doing roofing. I'm going to tell you about the roofing system itself and how we go about installing it, the warranties and guarantees. The third thing is if you like what you see, you like what you hear, you decide to place an order for the roof, I can help you with that. All right? Good. Do me a favor, if you will, as you go through this. Just ask yourself three things. First of all, are you comfortable with Sears? And then are you comfortable with what I show you? And then third, does this fit your budget? Because the reality is, if you don't like me and you don't like Sears and this isn't affordable, I'm not going to be able to help you with this, right? But if you can answer yes to those things, at least you can make a well-informed decision. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Great. Well, Todd, if you're like most of my customers, I meet with 3 people a day every day. I actually cover this huge territory. We go anywhere from Boise, Idaho to Cedar City, anywhere from Wendover, Nevada to Rock Springs, Wyoming. So I'm driving a good 1,000 miles a week. And if you're like most of my customers, they tell me their home's probably their biggest material investment. Would that be the case with you as well?
Oh, yes.
That's great. So, of course, when you invest money in the home, you want that to be a good investment, right? Money well spent.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah, definitely something you don't want to end up doing again 5 years down the road, right?
Right.
All right. My job with Sears, Todd, I'm a project consultant. And as a project consultant, my job is to come out here and help you plan the project. And one thing I find about planning, it saves you time, saves you money, saves you headaches and hassles down the road. Yeah, you probably have had the experience where as you start doing home improvement, one thing leads to another and leads to another. Before you know it, what you thought was a $10,000 project turns into a $20,000 project real quickly, right? So part of my job is just to keep things under control, make sure that we're doing this in a way that's going to, come up with a plan that you're going to love, but also something that's going to be affordable to you and is going to meet your needs. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
All right, great. Have you had much work done by contractors at all?
Oh, probably just only one other time I had, and it was just a matter of just trying to get them out. Felt like I got delayed a little bit. But
Okay, so you had a few issues getting them out there, getting the work done?
yeah.
Okay, what happened there?
It was just a thing that they kept coming back and saying that they still needed some other stuff there with what they originally talked about, and as far as materials, and they were going to be. Thought they were going to be starting 1 week, and there were some delays. So
That can be frustrating. So you felt like you really weren't the priority, and
yeah.
yeah, that can be frustrating. Well, I'm not surprised. I meet with 3 people a day every day, and I always hear the horror stories. I don't go in a day without hearing horror stories about contractors. This is what the Small Business Administration says. Actually, 96% of your contractors go out of business within their first 3 years. That's not good. Literally, you'd have to talk to 100 companies, just have 4 of them still around 3 years from now. So if you're lucky enough to choose one that's still going to be around, is it also somebody that would stand behind their work? What we find is a lot of times these guys will come in and do what I like to call the drive-by estimate in roofing. Where they'll spend 10 minutes and they write down a price on a business card for you. Well, Todd, do you know what you're getting for that price if they've only been with you for 10 minutes?
Probably you're right.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, they don't take time to share the details. And then also those prices change. It's not uncommon for roofing estimates to actually double in cost from the time you get that estimate to the time the job's finished. One thing that's nice about Sears, I'm not out here to give you an estimate or a guess. I'm going to give you the exact price to the penny. That's going to include tax and everything. So is that important you get all the details and set price up front like that?
Yeah, it's nice to know where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely. I met with a couple up near Duchesne a little while back. They told me they'd written a $40,000 check to a contractor. The guy cashed the check, took out bankruptcy, never even started on the job. Can you imagine that? Worst part was he opened up a new business under a different name a few months after that. Legally, they couldn't do anything about it because he had legally taken out bankruptcy. We see a lot of other things like liens and lawsuits, property damage, jobs that get started and never finished, or jobs that just drag on and on forever. Kind of like your experience where you have somebody that's supposed to come out and get the job done and it just takes forever to get it completed. And that can be frustrating, right?
Yes.
So one nice thing about Sears is you won't be dealing with any of those issues. We find that when you look at it, a lot of the contractors just use horrible quality products. and don't install the job correctly. We see that an awful lot as well. What we find is there are really three things that go into the price when you think about it. It's the quality of the materials they use, the quality of the installation, and the warranties and guarantees, whether or not a company is going to stand behind those. You probably agree, Todd, if you cut corners in those three areas, you can drastically affect price, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree most of the time you get what you pay for? Yeah, definitely. And that's why you can see on roofing, you have one company come out here and tell you this is a $7,000 or $8,000 roof. You have another company come out and tell you it's a $20,000 roof. And there's anything in between. Fact is, with Sears, we're not going to be the highest or lowest. We're going to be somewhere in the middle with the price. We always give you the highest quality we can at the best value we can. Is that more what you're looking for?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, great. You know, a lot of times this just comes down to affordability. I would say 9 out of 10 of my customers do finance with Sears. We have a lot of great ways to make things fair and affordable for you. Now, notice they give you the 12 months no interest financing on this. I love it when I see that. That's great. A lot of times it helps my customers be able to get something in now versus having to wait and save up money. And of course, you get to use Sears money interest free for a year. So, have you considered financing on this project?
Not really. I was kind of hoping that'd be something I could just pay for. So.
Okay, well, great. Either way, I think you'd be glad you had us out here. You know, we've actually been in business now 129 years. We started in 1886. The world's a different place than it was in 1886, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah, we're actually driving cars nowadays. It's amazing. But you know, Sears has had to change along with the times. You remember the old Sears catalogs?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was a kid, that's how we did Christmas shopping. You circle what you want in the catalog, write your name by it. That was your Christmas list to Santa Claus, right?
Same way.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of miss those days, actually. But if you think about it, catalog was the internet of its day, right? Sears was really good at that model. Well, guess what we're doing now? We're going back to a catalog-based model. It's all on the internet now, right? Last year, I didn't even go into a store. I did everything from home, had everything sent to my home. And you know, with Sears, we've actually doubled our internet presence just in the last year alone. We're one of the largest online retailers in the country. And so what that means is Sears is going to be around another 100 years because we do keep up with what's happening in the marketplace. Does that give you some confidence about Sears and where we're going as a company?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. You know, in fact, talking about catalog, this is interesting. You know, it used to be that you could actually buy a complete home through the Sears catalog. And they would send these by rail car anywhere across the United States. Everything was pre-cut, ready to put together. And so they come build it on site for you. I'd love to pick up about 10 of them at that price, right? But there are whole neighborhoods in Salt Lake City that are Sears homes. And so that's how long we've been in this industry. You know, when you've been doing roofing for 100 years, you know, we're not learning on the job. You know, we have this down to a science. And when you think about it, warranty comes into play there. You know, a lot of times companies will offer you a warranty, but does it really matter what warranty they offer you if they're not in business 2-3 years from now? Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the nice thing about Sears, we actually offer a real warranty on roofing, and we're going to go into that a little bit later. But we had a gentleman that bought a roof with us 60 years ago. We actually just replaced his roof under warranty after 60 years. So first of all, you know, I have people that say, Dave, that's pretty good to get 60 years out of a roof, and it is. But even more amazing to me is the fact that Sears came back 60 years later and said, no problem, we got you covered under warranty. So who could do that besides Sears? So is that the kind of warranty you'd love to have on a roof?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, I think with Sears, Sears is more concerned about your satisfaction than any other company out there. And we want you to be happy at the end of the day. We see this as more than just a roofing project. You know, the fact is most companies are just going to do one job for you. They probably want you to be happy, but they got paid, right? Pretty tough to get them back once you pay them. Nice thing about Sears is we want to keep you as a customer for life. And so part of making sure that you're going to be happy is our Quality Everyday program. And my customers really appreciate this because what happens with our Quality Everyday program, you get a chance to score us on how well we do for you, 0 through 10. Now, Tom, my boss tells me if I don't get a 10, I get a 0. And it's true, a 9's a 0, an 8's a really bad score that we don't want to talk about. Okay? But with our installers, that score is extremely important as well. If they don't maintain a high quality score, they don't work for Sears anymore. So you only have the folks out here that have a consistent, proven track record of customer satisfaction. So does that give you some comfort with the installers?
Yeah, I guess the only option is a good product, right?
Yeah,
Good people.
absolutely. So I noticed you are a Shop Your Way reward member. So you have that points card with Sears?
Mhm.
Yeah. I love
Never
the
get the
points.
chance to use it much. But
You don't use it too much?
but
I'll tell you, I was in the store buying clothes for my daughter a little while back, and they scanned my card and they said, Dave, you got enough points to just pay for this with your points. You want to do that? Yeah. Anytime you don't have to pull 50 bucks out of your wallet, you know, it's a good deal. You're going to get points on the roof. That's an awful lot of points. So I'll explain a little bit more in detail how that goes. I'm sure you're familiar with the Sears products. You said that you bought a lot of appliances with Sears. So are you familiar with the Kenmore brand then?
yes.
Okay, so Kenmore's the Sears brand. They've won more awards in the industry than any other appliance. 1 out of every 3 homes has Kenmore appliances. And we've actually sold over 170 million Kenmore appliances in the last 15 years alone. So you think about what level of quality they have to be in 1 out of every 3 homes. That's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We also do the appliance and electronics repair services. We have the largest repair fleet in the country. And then, of course, Craftsman Tools. You have any Craftsman Tools out there?
Yeah. I've had a couple. Got to make sure of a little bit of everything. But yeah.
What do you like most about the Craftsman?
Probably nothing more than anything else. I guess there is the warranty that's in there, but
The warranty,
I've never really had
right.
to use it. But
Yeah, you haven't had to use it. They're great quality tools. Rarely do you break one, but if you ever do, take it back to the store, they're going to change that for you, right? We give a similar warranty on the roof. The difference is we don't make you take that back to the store. Okay? So, one thing that my customers tell me they really appreciate about Sears is that we don't follow the typical home improvement business model. And what I mean by that is typically you have a manufacturer that makes the roofing products. They're sold through a distributor to the lumber yards and the wholesalers and the big box stores. Then you have your contractor that's responsible for installation, and often they'll subcontract the work out to somebody else before it gets to you. Now, the only problem with that, Todd, is if you have an issue down the road, who do you call and who's going to take care of it for you?
sure.
You know, my experience is they like to point fingers at each other. And you know, you talk to your guy who did the work, he says, well, you got to talk to my boss. And he says, well, you got to talk to my supplier. And he tells you, well, it's a manufacturer's warranty, right? And then what does the manufacturer generally tell you?
I'll put it on somebody else.
Yeah, the guy who
To the
installed it,
installed
he messed it up. So now they want you to go back and talk to him. I saw this firsthand, had a customer recently out in Kearns, and she had done her roof a year and a half ago. And she was asking us to come out and replace her roof for her. It was a year and a half old. And I asked her what happened. And she told me that she called the guys who had done the work, asked them to come out and fix the roof because it was leaking in a few different spots. And they told her, well, we left you with warranty paperwork. You need to call on the warranty. So she digs through her paperwork, tries to find the warranty information, finally finds it, calls the company and asks them to come out and take a look at it. And took them a few weeks, but she said when they came, they were there for about 5 minutes, and they came down off her roof, told her the nails had been put in the wrong place on the shingle. So they voided her warranty on the spot, sent her back to talk to the installers. So she went back to talk to the company that did the installation, and they never would stand behind it. So here she was, after spending $15,000 on a roof a year and a half ago, she had to do it all over again. And that's a shame. That should never happen. And we feel like this is a broken model. So with Sears, we don't follow this model. Literally with Sears, there's you and there's us. That's it. Does that sound a lot better, just be dealing with one company?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. This is a Sears roofing system installed by Sears, warranted, guaranteed by Sears. So we can't point a finger at anybody else. Okay. We have the best installers in the business. Our guys who do roofing just do roofing. So they weren't out doing concrete last week. They're expert roofers. Is that important to have somebody who's an expert working on the roof?
Yeah, somebody at least knows what they're doing.
Exactly. And then, of course, we're licensed, bonded, fully insured. We carry a $5 million insurance policy on every job that we do. That's really important nowadays. Do you know where Mona is?
No, I don't.
Mona, it's out, you've heard of Nephi? That's right next to Nephi. It's a small town. I was sitting down with a customer out there a few months ago, and we were talking about the insurance. He says, Dave, he says, I want you to see the car my neighbor's driving. And so we look out his kitchen window. I'm not kidding you. I'm going, this guy's got a Ferrari parked in his driveway. Okay. It's what? $250,000, $300,000 car. So I said to him, I said, Rod, what does that guy do for a living? I mean, he's driving a car that's worth more than my house. He said, well, Davey's a roofer. And he said how he got his car was he's working on somebody's house, fell off the roof and hurt himself, and turned around and sued his customer. That's how he got his car. Crazy, huh? Yeah, you have to be really careful. Qualified Contractors USA just did a study. They found that half the companies that advertised they were insured didn't have insurance. So that could be some liability to you, because a lot of homeowners insurance policies just don't cover licensed contractors because they're supposed to be insured. Okay? We have a project coordinator named Waylon. He's going to make sure everything runs smoothly for you. Everything starts and finishes on time, and you get everything we promised. At the end of the day, that you're 100% satisfied. And then, are you pretty careful who you invite into your home, Todd?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you
I
have
mean,
to be
naturally, a
nowadays.
person's kind of hesitant. Yeah.
Yeah,
who's gonna be
exactly.
there?
One thing I love about Sears, I've been through background check, I've been drug tested. You know, Sears has basically put me through a whole bunch of things before I could come to work for Sears. Our installers are the same way. We background check all of our installers. You've probably been down to Home Depot first thing in the morning. You see the guys standing in line down there waiting for the contractors to pick them up. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't seen that? Yeah, if you go down first thing in the morning, you always see that. There's a group of people standing there. Contractor pulls up in the truck and says, hey, I need 2 guys today. You see 2 guys jump in, and he takes them to your home to work on your roof. Problem is, you know what their background is. I mean, he doesn't even know what their background is, right? And yet he's bringing them to your home to work. And so, you like the fact that Sears background checks everybody?
Yeah, it'd be a little bit more comfortable than the alternative, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, exactly. You know, bottom line, Todd, we don't want to invite someone into your home I wouldn't have in my home.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, you do get a satisfaction guarantee with Sears. I think about it this way. I am the 4th generation of my family shopping at Sears. My kids are actually the 5th. And the reason we keep shopping at Sears is Sears always stands behind their products, and they've always taken care of us, treated us fairly. And so at the end of the day, we want to make sure you're 100% satisfied, because like I say, we want to keep you as a customer. We know you've been a good Sears customer, okay? We do have a rewards program also, Todd. This goes above and beyond Shop Your Way rewards. And this is a way of saying thank you for trusting Sears for doing your roof today. And how it works is we're going to give you either gift card or cash rebate. Now the amount of that, Todd, just depends on 2 things. The size of the project, and also when you decide to move forward with the project. So it does give you a little incentive while we're out here. You'd probably agree it's easier for us to turn your business while we're here versus weeks or months down the road, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'll explain how that works a little bit later. But let me ask you, Todd, if this were to come in at a fair price, would you feel pretty comfortable having Sears do the work in your home?
Yeah, I would.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that.